Hello. I'm back and I thought I'd make a quick vlog. Uh I watched a vlog by Daejeon Day DJ Ilian. I don't know. But anyway, he was talking in that vlog. His topic was Dylan Mulvaney being cast as Anne Boleyn. And I do feel for trans people. So I don't want to say too much about him being trans, other than he's not a woman. And Anne Boleyn was a woman. Dylan Mulvaney has had a platform since about being a woman since his days of girlhood, and Um, there are a lot of women who say that he insults women, and you know, I personally, um, well, I think he is way too mixed up. You know, I think that when it comes to transgenderism, I think people are confused. This is Father Mike, and Dylan Mulvaney is confused. And Marissa was also going to speak on on Jesus being portrayed as a woman. Jesus was a man, and that is the ultimate insult to Jesus, to have a woman portray him. Yeah. So, but we'll get to that in a second. I just want to talk about Dylan Mulvaney and his voice and what he does. Being cast as a woman, and it keeps going after all of this backlash, and he just keeps doing it. But he plays the victim, and I feel for Dylan. I really do, because, in his mind, he believes he's a woman, but he'll never ever know, what it's like as a kid, being a girl, and um and all the things that young girls, all the way to the day you die, all the things that women have to go through, and women have to go through a lot. you know um just everything, you know and the excitement of trying on your mother's clothes when you're a little girl, playing dress up, um and your mother shaping your world and shaping how you are, and all the women are your mother's friends, and everyone wearing makeup and trying on makeup as a little girl and getting it wrong and stuff. I mean, it's just, it's you have to be born into the gender to really understand it. This is Father Mike. A man will never understand what it's like to be a little girl and grow up to be a woman. A man will never understand that. you know Maybe he played dress up, maybe he tried on his mother's makeup as a little kid, but it's so much more. you know for young women to go through puberty is a very big deal to them. For some, it's very humiliating. and yet they have to endure it. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And women grow up to be mothers, and not all women, but women can be mothers and have children and the joy of children, or they have choices. But a man could never have a child. A man can't do that. No matter what they think science will be able to accomplish. Being a woman is a very special thing, but being a man is also very special. Yes, being a man is great. I mean, you, you get accepted into more things and more. I don't know. I don't know. They say a lot about the patriarchy in this country, and it's true, kind of. It's a man's world. I've been told by men that it's a man's world, and it is a man's world. And that's why Marissa's here, because she's going to bring feminine influence into the hierarchy, not the patriarchy, but the hierarchy. And talk about feminine. Like, I'm not saying I'm really feminine, but she is very, very feminine. Yeah. Anyway, it's very sad. It's very, very sad for transgender people to believe they are of the opposite sex of what they were born. It's very confusing. They're confused. And I think we all need to pray for Dylan Mulvaney. And what is her name? I can't say her name unless Marissa remembers, but we also have to pray for her and all transgenders so that they can come to realize their true identities, which is what they were born as. Yeah. Because, one of the points that the creator was making, whose vlog I watched, Dylan, or Jay, I'm just calling him Jay. Jay made was that they play the victim, and they do play the victim. Why isn't everyone accepting me? I'm a victim. I'm this and that, But they spent so long getting in people's faces, like, I'm going to be transgender, and you have to accept me. And I mean, and it was like from day to night, it was like, now you have to accept all transgenders and everything, and I accept them as human beings, but do I really, like, I don't have kids, so I wouldn't know what a parent would go through, but would I really want my child to go to drag queen story time? No. Especially if it was a boy. I would not. And we would never recommend it. We don't recommend it. Yeah. No way. I on video, and there was a drag queen asking the kids what they wanted to be when they grow up. And, they were saying what they wanted to be. And then he asked the boy, he said, what would you like to be? He said, I'd like to be Spider-Man. And the drag queen said, oh, maybe a pink Spider-Man. That's so terrible to say to a child. Yes, it is. And it's very confusing for children when you do stuff like that. This is why this is why Marissa part of the reason why Marissa is creating her schools and why we are not, this is Father John, this is why we are not hiring liberal teachers. There will be no liberal teachers. None. And we are still getting threats, death threats, and people are trying to sue us, but it won't work because there will never be any liberals working in our schools. Ever. Ever. Yeah. So, I mean, I think about it and I just think, I'm watching other vlogs and they're showing how liberals are unhinged sometimes. They get unhinged. Unhinged. Because their topic or their one of their topics is being challenged, and why would you challenge me? And why? I'm right. I'm always right. Your thinking is flawed and you are who is the problem. There's no reasoning. There's no back and forth. There's no, can we discuss it as adults? No, it's my way. It's this way. This is right. And we're going to impose our will on you, which goes back to witches and what they believe. It goes back to the witches that I grew up around and how they talk. I'm going to impose my will on others. This is what I said back in 2017 about someone who was very evil,